Right, so hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bach and Arthur podcast. We're here for episode 36 today.
36.
I've definitely changed the intro. The pacing feels weird. I feel like the applause used to come in so much more naturally.
And it used to be roaring, and now it's now it's sad.
And now, everyone's so far away from us.
Well, we used to have a live audience, but now.
But they started booing too much, and then you got a rotten tomato thrown at your head.
Tomato?
Yep.
Oh, that's how you say it, is it?
Oh, potato.
That's a good reference.
Okay.
I was gonna straight face it, but that's a good reference.
You say potato, I say potato.
Off to a flying start. So today we are kind of continuing a theme that we recently re-indulged in. We kind of started off early with quite a lot of religion and philosophy and morality. We're not doing religion this time, although it's been thrown in the last couple of episodes. But people are like, I really like the episodes where you delve into the moral dilemmas and stuff like that. And last time out, we had the blue pill and the red pill conversation.
Yeah, which I may be cancelled, but we don't. That episode goes up tonight, so
that episode goes up tonight. So Bash might not exist on social media anymore. Well, I mean, if you thought that was gonna get you, this one.
Oh, fine, kill them all.
No,
that's my answer.
There's a moral quandary I've been grappling with internally for many years, and I was wondering if you would resolve it.
That was worded excellently. Oh, there was I can't do it. There's something
that's why we got a podcast.
With. Yeah.
But first of all, before we kind of get there, we've been wanting to do an episode on free will.
Oh yeah.
For a while, but I thought it'd be a nice preface to just touch on it lightly. I was wondering, because it's quite similar, we still get a lot of people that write in on the episode where we discussed, is there such thing as a truly selfless act?
Write in sounds like we're getting like mail letters sent about it.
Yeah, we only get female letters sent. No.
Ow.
Also,
just smack my ass for audio listeners. He just put me over his knee and smack my bum.
There are more than 2 letter genders, I believe.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Male and female letters. Anyway, it's early.
Oh, email.
It's early, hence the puffy face for visual viewers. You can stop gagging now.
He's taking up 3/4 of the sofa with his face.
Yeah, we still get a lot, and I feel like every single time someone writes something in, they have the same kind of issue. Like they say it's something that they don't really want to do, but they do it anyway. But there's always like an obvious underlying like, oh, like my mortal enemy is dying and I save his life even though he's like killed my whole family. And it's like, but you
Did we get the same DM recently? Because I saw...
Oh, maybe.
Somebody DM'd me something similar and was like, oh, I think I have the answer to the free will thing. But it was slightly like, oh, it's your enemy. You really don't want to help them.
Yeah, we had one of those recently. But we get the comments on the episode, like that's one of our most frequently commented on episodes alongside the Chris MD episode. And regarding free will,
what did Will do?
Free him.
No, keep him in. He was a horrible, horrible man.
What did he do?
Will?
Yeah. Tea time. Tune into episode 93 for the truth about
93.
Will.
This pod ain't making it to 93, Buster.
And yeah, with free will, I was watching some videos and doing some reading and stuff lately, and came across this proposition that you never do anything without either wanting to do it or being forced to do it. And I wondered if you had any rebuttals to that.
So I just went down to get some water.
Yeah, because you wanted to.
And then I tripped up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Would you argue I was forced to trip up the stairs?
Oh, this is to do with free will. So this is more in terms of like choices. So like you never choose to do something. You never exercise free will.
Is free will not wanting to do something? I personally don't think we have free will anyway.
So,
but I think we both think that what will happen was always going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you believe that, you can't believe in free will, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of idea behind people saying that we don't have free will is there's always like a chain of causation on like why you do everything, right? And it always comes back to. So for example, here, like you either do something because you want to or because you're forced to. If you're forced to, of course, that's not free will. Someone else has forced you to do it. But if you want to do it, all of those wants come from either your nature or your nurture. So you're either brought up like that,
Right.
or you were born like that. So for example, in the morning, you might go, oh, I kind of have the choice between Crunchy Nut or Rice Krispies. Other cereals are available.
How do you know I actually had Rice Krispies this morning?
Did you? And what other cereals did you have in your cabinet?
Nothing. I had oats.
Okay, so you could have had Rice Krispies or oats,
Yeah.
but you wanted to have Rice Krispies.
No, I was forced to by the little goblin who sits in my kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah.
But you wanted to.
Yeah.
And you didn't choose to want to prefer them, right?
No.
Like,
Wanted.
You had that
Just had that urge.
preference because you're whether it's your body or your mind craving it, or you were brought up to think that it was better than oats, or you've been told it's healthier. I mean, it's not, but you know.
I'm gonna straight up not.
And quite often, you know, in the comments, you'll see a lot of things like in a similar way to when we discussed the idea that no one ever does anything truly selfless. It's almost a similar type of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like someone will go, oh, but I think it was Alex O'Connor's video on this, and he said he gets a lot of people going like, oh, I went to the gym yesterday and I really didn't want to. And it's like, well, that's because there was a stronger want. Like ultimately you wanted to go to the gym because you wanted to be healthy or you wanted to look good.
Yeah.
And your desire for those things was greater than your, what's the opposite of desire?
Oh,
Lack of desire
orgasm.
to go to the gym. What?
Well, it's a very. I'm thinking is words in, and just forget about it.
Okay. And then obviously for some people, the fact that they don't want to go to the gym is more powerful than their desire to be healthy or get active or feel
Yeah.
good or get in
They're
shape and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So again, we open it up to the floor. But I fear whatever you...
What you got to say, motherfucker? You're always silent.
I feel whatever they're going to comment. I feel whatever you're going to comment, if you really think about it, when you're making that decision, it's because
So is
you ultimately want to do it more than you don't want to do it.
is that argument like so you're saying you either do something because you're forced or you want to, and
you don't control your wants.
are you saying that a lot of people would argue that the wants side of things is free will, but it's or are you saying
So
a lot of people would argue free will is a separate thing to wanting? Do you know what I mean?
Compatibilists would say that like doing what you want, like picking what you want, is you exexercising free
Right,
will.
okay.
But it's the determinists, which is what I am, which you are,
You
which
can
says
link
that like
back and say-
what you want, but you're not having a choice of what you want.
Yeah.
So when you're going like, oh, I want Rice Krispies over Cocoa Pops because I think Rice Krispies taste better, you're not choosing to find that they taste better.
Yeah.
And even if you try and almost catch yourself out and you go, you know what? Instead, I'm going to have Crunchy Nut this morning, even though I want to have Rice Krispies.
Yeah.
You go, oh, that's me exercising free will because I want Crunchy Nut. I want Rice Krispies, sorry, but I'm going to have Crunchy Nut.
Yeah.
But then your desire to catch this out is stronger than your desire to have the cereal taste. So you're still picking something you want ultimately.
Yeah, it reminds me of a YouTube video I watched. Do you remember a guy? I think his like profile picture was like a tortoise or a turtle or something, and he made a video. I think he made a video titled "There's no such thing as orange," and the idea was basically it's just light brown, but everyone thought it was like a separate color.
Right.
Anyway, not the point. He made like a video on how the conscious, what we think any decision we make is actually made by our subconscious and is not made by us, and nothing we do is controlled by us.
Yeah.
And he went through like you could go through your whole day and think about everything you've done, and every decision you've made hasn't been like a conscious decision really. Like even listening to someone speak, you're processing it subconsciously. And then when you respond, you don't have it like you can't visualize like the paragraph that you're about to respond with.
Yeah.
The words just come out. Well, it feels like out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, where it's like you don't really control anything you do, and then in a world where that is a reality, free will can't really exist anyway.
Yeah. And even like trying to have the thought, it would almost be like paradoxical because like you can't choose to think what I want this morning, because then you would have to think about thinking that, and then you'd have to be thinking about thinking that. So like you said, like the first thought that pops into your head just arrives without you choosing it to arrive.
It's funny because I mean people have you seen the videos on TikTok where people are like, oh, I just remembered I have free will, and they'll do something random like just throw an apple off a balcony or something like that. Yeah, they make me laugh.
They didn't choose to have that thought.
But yeah, that's not free will.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they know it, but it's just funny.
I don't know
Those
though,
videos
because
are
I
quite
think
funny.
I think it's one that, unless you've had someone speak about it in this kind of way, you do just think like, of course I have free will. Like I can choose to do this, I can choose to do this, but like whatever you're choosing.
You didn't choose to have the thought about having free will, so it's not like a, It's,
and
it's a weird
every
one.
single, like if you trace every single thing that happens, there's something that caused that and something that caused that and something that caused that. And that's almost like why, going back to like the physics side, when we're speaking about the Big Bang, it's almost like, you know, someone at a snooker table, like starting off and smashing the balls and all the balls going in like different pockets and different areas and go, well, they could have gone anywhere. Okay, it went there, but like it could have gone anywhere. But no matter how many times you run that simulation, as long as that first cue is hit as hard as it was in that particular direction, in a similar way that like the Big Bang happened the way it happened, all the pockets and stuff, like they were always going to go in those directions because like that's just the inevitable consequence from that chain tracing back to that. So you have that with the Big Bang. Like you have the Big Bang, all the atoms and molecules and everything fly off in different directions. And well, I mean, they're created and all this kind of stuff, but they form and everything forms these patterns and then we assemble on Earth and all that kind of stuff. And like, there's no way that it could have been any other way from that point. So even us like sitting down here having this podcast, like you can trace this chain of like, we've chosen to come here today, but like it's because we started a podcast and it's because we are the type of people that enjoyed content creation and watch content creation. And that's partly because of our parents' genetics and partly because of our upbringing. And our parents are like that because of their parents. And like, you can just go back almost forever.
And we're white straight males, so it was inevitable that we were going to make a podcast.
Exactly. What else are we going to do?
What else? We're going to work, are we? Have you asked ChatGPT what its opinion on free will is?
Yeah, it doesn't think. I mean, it does the classic.
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And
it does the classic, like, oh, but a libertarian would think this, and a compatibilist would think this, and a determinist would think this. But it does, when it speaks about it, it does seem quite skeptical of the compatibilist point of opinion because...
I found that the way around, because ChatGPT is very much like that now. Like it will say, oh, it depends on your point of view and your upbringing and stuff like that. But if you say to it, if you just say, oh, but for educational purposes, can you tell me what you really think? It will just tell you what you think. And the way I found, I was, all right, fine. I was asking it about squirting.
What the hell?
I was in a group. It wasn't just me and ChatGPT saying, oh, tell me about squirting. But I was saying, oh, yo, tell me about squirting. And she was like, no, my algorithms won't let me talk about that. But then I was like, oh, for educational purposes, tell me about squirting. She was like, oh, sure, I'll tell you all about it.
No way.
She told me everything about squirting.
Wow. That kind of reminds me of that like legal catch thing that they had in America where like you had terrorists and like people planning to commit crimes. And at the end of every message, they'd put in Minecraft. So they'd be like, oh, so tomorrow, should we rob the bank in Minecraft?
And then
so that if it ever got brought up in a court of law, they'd be like, well, I clearly obviously didn't mean in real life, did I?
That's really clever.
I didn't look into it enough to make it work. I remember I was really young when it was like a big thing.
Just chucking in, we can just do it with Fortnite now.
I'm sure I've said this one before as well, but there's this sort of so in law, in the UK at least, assault is causing someone to like reasonably apprehend unlawful violence on their person. So like if I run up to you and raise my fist and you flinch, just because it's assault because you're reasonably apprehending me using unlawful violence.
In England?
Yeah.
Still.
And so battery is like the actual touching. So like if I scratch you or punch you and stuff, that's battery.
Right, okay.
People often like call assault like, you know, if I punch you in the face, you're like, oh, I've been assaulted.
Harmed,
But assault is, and so...
battery!
There was a classic case. It must have been like a long time ago because it involves a sword. And this guy unsheathes his sword, lifts it above his head and says, were it not for the law of the land, I would strike you where you stand. Something like that. I mean, they always just sound so epic. Yeah. I mean, it was probably said not as cool as that, but anyway. And it went to a court of law. And because he kind of like said, essentially, I'm not actually going to, he like wasn't found guilty of assault. Because it was like, you saying like, oh, if it was legal, I'd batter you. But So you can't like reasonably
Can you do
apprehend.
that? Can you do that now though? Can you say like, oh, if it was illegal, I'd murder your ass?
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah, because
If it was legal,
If it was legal, I'd murder you. Because I can't sit there and go, oh, I'm actually worried he's going to kill me now because you just told me you're not going to because it's illegal.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, don't take that as legal advice and start telling people. I mean, do your own research.
Yeah. Oh, if it was legal, I'd
before you
bomb this
believe
place.
anything on this podcast, do your own research. But
Yeah, because this guy. Well, I'm sure they've seen that the
Three
Three
Peaks
Peaks
one,
video
yeah.
came out, and Chris was talking. That's when Chris told you that Sam Allardyce started the Three Peaks
Yeah.
challenge, and you shared it on the podcast.
We've brought that up on like 5 different podcasts now. We can let it live.
That is so funny.
Funnily enough, I was speaking to Amy and Lara about this before whilst you were out. And I was telling them, and Amy said,
That's free will.
when we were speaking about free will, kind of had a tangential question on, is there something about you physically that you don't control that you wish you could?
Yeah,
What?
I can't tell you.
Is it squirting again? Amy said breathing. She was like, I love breathing.
Amy's. I forget she's from Southern America. I love breathing. What? You don't think you can control breathing?
No, as in like if you could like have complete control.
What do you mean by that?
So, like, okay, let's go for a slightly one that isn't a bit 50-50. We haven't got a mic, unless we put her in.
As we pull her in right now.
Let's say your heart rate. I always think about this one. So, like, we can't control our heart rate directly.
But
So
you can.
You can indirectly by like calming down and it'll slow down maybe. Like
But
splash water on your face.
No, but you can control your heart rate by breathing, which
Yeah,
is
by
arguably
breathing.
direct control.
Well, no, it's indirect because you're focusing on controlling your breathing and hoping that has an effect on your
Well, no, because if
heart
you
rate.
so
But you can't right now just go, oh, I'm about 75 BPS right now. I'm going to bring it down to 50.
I can't bring it down. I can't give you a number to bring it down to, but I could bring it down. Oh, I could bring it down, all right. Because
And you know what?
so-
Let's say you're really stressed out and you feel really anxious about something. You just can't just
No,
go,
but
oh,
you
I'm going to
can,
bring it
though.
down to.
because I'm going to do a whole episode on breathing, but because
I'm not saying it
Look,
doesn't help
no,
and
but-
you can't
okay.
affect it indirectly.
Okay, wait. Hold your heart right now. Breathe in. Oh, can you feel your heartbeat though? I can't find mine.
Yeah.
Breathe in, and you'll feel your heart rate increases on an inhale, and exhale slowly. You'll realize your heart rate decreases as you exhale.
Yeah.
So if you increase the speed of your inhale and decrease the speed of your exhale, naturally overall your heart rate decreases.
Yeah. But I feel like you're missing the point here.
But that's how you could bring your heart rate down.
Okay, but
if you give me
let's
2
say
minutes, I'll bring it down.
Let's say
to-
someone has a gun to your head right now.
Okay, and
your
then I
heart
just
rate
go-
is going to skyrocket.
Actually, I had a dream last night where someone was trying to stab me, and I freaking the fuck out.
And even if you're
But then I
breathing
woke
well,
up and I went, "Hang on."
so that was why there was an oxygen shortage in the building last night because you were doing deep
nose.
inhalations through that thing.
Concierge came up and said, "We told you that's a weapon. You can't fucking use that thing."
Or even like digestion.
But if you breathe through your right nostril, your metabolism increases and you digest.
You are
and you digest quicker. But if you breathe through your left nostril,
Yeah.
you calm down and slow down. So this
Brilliant.
initiates fight or
Way
flight.
to dodge the entire point of the question.
But I'm just saying you can control these things.
Okay, how about this one? Your eyes watering. Sometimes I get quite dry eyes,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I wish I had complete
Yeah, I'll give you
control
that.
over, like, to be
I'll
able to
give you
just go, oh, you know what? I want to be able to, as if my body would do if I was crying my eyes out. I wish I could just well up. And sure, I could think of something really sad and get my eyes to well up, but like, I wish I could just like squirt my tear ducts, you know?
Well, ask ChatGPT about squirting and you'll find out, pal. Okay, so
Is there anything? Actually, that might be my top one because I get dry eyes a lot.
do you really get dry eyes?
Yeah.
I get wet, moist, gushy eyes. To be
Do
honest
you?
with Yeah.
Maybe
So
maybe we should just touch eye
sometimes
tips
I'll
from time
literally
to time.
squeeze mine out like a lemon into yours when you're drying out. What, when you walk in the wind, mine go wet. Do yours go dry?
Yeah. No, not in the wind. It's more like if I'm filming, especially in an aircon room, like in these.
Really?
I always used to get comments because I would film late at night. The lights are
They
bright
thought
and
you were
like, they'd
high.
be dry, and they would always think I was high. I've said that on the podcast before, haven't I?
Ash, no, because Ash.
It's a good
said
thing
the
we're
same
wrapping
thing.
this up soon because we're running out of.
No, but
There's not much more to us.
Ash, Ash said a similar thing. He was
Oh,
like,
yeah, of
he gets dry
course.
eyes, and everyone thinks he's done drugs
Yeah.
beforehand. That's a good question, though. Something that I can control in my body.
Can you gleek? Have you ever done gleeking? where you
Will
sort
you
of
retract your penis inside your body?
No, that's so weird.
I wish I could do that, actually.
That would be really handy.
That would be so handy.
Oh my God.
Do you know when you're wearing a harness or something like that?
Yeah.
It'd be so handy just to retract your penis and your balls. To
Playing
get them out of the way.
sport. If you're going to play football,
Yeah.
you could suck your nuts up inside you.
I mean, on a cold day, it basically happens anyway. So if
Yeah.
you could just do that.
You never get hit in the nuts or penis ever again.
Yeah, or nuts.
Yeah. But have you ever gleeked? I do it accidentally
What
sometimes.
is gleeking?
It's when your salivary glands like squirt.
No, no, and I know you do it. Seriously. Fuck me.
Sometimes I don't know if it's like the way you like press your tongue.
I've seen people do videos. You can lift up your tongue and go like that and it go...
Yeah.
I tried it. I can't do that.
No, I mean, I've never like investigated it.
I've
but
naturally
sometimes-
got a dry mouth. so
Sometimes
I'm
when I
not a wet one.
yawn, I go, oh, and it was you. It's like a little fountain.
That is
It's so
weird
odd.
as hell.
With the smallest
Squirtle.
amount, it's so weird.
Squirtle. I'm still trying to think of something I wish I could control. I mean, if I could just go like that with heartbeat, that would be great.
It would be cool.
Because when you are anxious, it would be nice to just be like, oh, I'll bring that down a notch.
You
or
know-
like you're nervous, just to control your hormones would be cool.
Yeah. Symptoms of a cold.
Yeah,
Like
because I mean, it's just histamines, isn't it?
Yeah, your blocked nose
Yeah.
being just like swollen blood vessels more so than mucus.
Yes.
Unswell
Oh,
them.
Blood vessels. If I could control blood vessels,
Mm.
I'd have a boner and I'd never have a blocked nose. 24/7. What about you?
Did you just do that on purpose or was that indirect?
Well, the boner.
Yeah.
Indirect. What? Could you see it? That was embarrassing.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, what else? Sweating might be quite a nice one.
Oh, I could do with that.
Just be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to turn off sweating. I'm going to keep myself cool else in another way. I don't really know how.
The
It's
thing
very
is, even
efficient.
sweating, I don't think makes me feel cooler because I just get pissed off and more angry and hot.
Maybe.
Because I get very sweaty very easily.
Yeah, you do.
Well, no, don't say that. But I don't smell. Come on, tell them.
Oil release on my skin, probably. I've got quite a
What's that?
shiny face.
That would be nice. You
I'd
don't,
like to be able
go,
to, just dial it down on the nose at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you guys?
Oh.
Let us know in the comments or in our DMs.
Hair growth. I'd never need a haircut again.
Oh,
and I'd have the
that's
best
a
beard
great
ever.
one.
Yeah.
That's a great
And I'd have no
one.
fucking nut hair. No,
Oh.
absolute nut hair.
That's vile. Speaking of nut hair, let us introduce to you briefly the sponsor of today's episode, Manscaped.
All right, guys, holiday season is here. And trust me, you don't want to be the guy turning up with tangled tinsel in their ornaments like you.
Luckily, our friends at Manscaped have got you covered from your head all the way down your chimney with the Beard and Balls bundle.
Get ready for your mistletoe moments with 20% off plus free shipping using code BATCHARTHUR at manscaped.com.
Featuring both the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and the Beard Hedger, this is a package worth unwrapping.
The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra cuts through the North Pole of bushes with ease and is gentle on your Christmas ornaments as well.
This naughty little boy is also waterproof, so you can trim in the shower and avoid a blizzard of hair all over your bathroom floor.
It's also perfect for a quick trim before a Christmas party. No one wants to find a loose hair in their eggnog.
All right, enough about your baubles, Batch. You can also tackle your winter beard using the Beard Hedger, which features a titanium-coated T-blade. Whether you want to go full Santa or keep it neat.
It also has 60 minutes of runtime with an LED charge indicator because there's nothing worse than a half-trimmed beard when your sleigh is ready to go.
Manscaped is the perfect gift this Christmas for your boyfriends, brothers, fathers, friends, or anyone else hairy in your life.
You looked at me after boyfriend.
Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BATCHARTHUR.
Because Santa isn't the only one who needs his sack well groomed this year.
All right, thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring today's episode. Now back onto the deep moral quandaries. Now, we've got some trolley problems coming up, which we've tackled before. But first, speaking of last episode, remember the blue pill, red pill?
I remember.
I put that on the story.
Oh, nice.
And can you guess what the rough percentage is?
I'm going to guess less than 50% people chose blue.
So last time out, just as a very quick recap, we did the if you have to make a choice for your household, either the blue pill or a red pill. If you pick the blue pill, actually forget what you're picking. If more than 50% of people pick blue pill, everyone lives. If less than 50% of people pick the blue pill, everyone who picks blue pill dies. So red survives either way.
So if everyone picks red, you all survive. Let me just
but there's
make
no
that clear.
communication. And we spoke, and we both kind of said you were very adamant you'd probably end up picking the red pill.
There
just
ain't
'cause
no probably about it.
It's guaranteeing your safety.
And if everyone does it, everyone lives.
If everyone picks the blue pill, everyone lives. Anyway, if you want to see the full discussion, go to the last episode. But just to let you know, I posted it as an Instagram story on the Bach and Arthur Instagram account. Join that for questions and queries and polls and
twerking
and all that kind of things. And I can reveal the percentage of people that picked blue pill is 72. So thank you everyone at home who is lovely and cares about your community, because
Makes
everyone's
no
lived.
sense. They didn't understand.
You're one of the evil 28% who went full selfish.
The thing is, it's clear people don't understand that if everyone picks red, you survive no matter what. I think when the question is posed, everyone assumes, for everyone to survive, we all have to pick blue.
But evidently some people pick blue.
But hey, if more than 50% of people pick blue, everyone survives anyway, so I can pick red. And there's no blood on my hands regardless.
But yeah, just thought it was interesting to be like, on a blind poll.
Do you remember how many people?
72% picked blue pill.
How many people voted? Do you know how many people voted?
Nah, don't know yet.
Interesting.
I mean, obviously, we have a very moral, loving, lovely community.
Yeah, go back to the last episode to see the whole debate, because I'd argue there's no morals involved.
So, but I mean, at a national level, this obviously isn't going to be representative of households across the UK or indeed the world. But no, it's interesting. And so I've got a kind of in a similar vein. I'm going to try and expose you for being the immoral asshole you really are deep down. No, these are difficult and thoroughly enjoyable moral questions that philosophers and great thinkers of our time even struggle with today. So I've got a trolley problem for you. Going back to, I guess we touched on free will. We'll do a deeper dive another time, and let us know for that episode if there's anything you can think of that you do because you don't ultimately want to do it or because you're forced to do it.
Yeah, and if you would like to control any part of your body.
Yeah, what functions would you choose?
I wonder if I could lactate if I tried really hard.
You know, lactation is purely hormonal. Like, men can fully produce breast milk like women can if you give them the right hormones.
If you could control hormones, you'd become a superhuman, I think.
Yeah. You'd finally not struggle with low testosterone.
Boy, you know I've got more testosterone than you. You know I've got as much testosterone.
I didn't really hit so much coming from
raging rhino.
Oh, you testosterone.
You've seen my girthy ass penis. You know,
you
know where I'm storing it.
Trolley problem time. So last time out, we exposed Bach for being a horrible person with the red pill, blue pill dilemma.
Yeah, I'm still taking the red. I took the red pill, by the way. They came to my door and I took the fucking red pill.
I've got a trolley problem for you.
No, thank you.
So
we do one of these every episode. No, thank you. I'm not
but I've got an interesting direction to take this in.
Just kill them all.
So there's a trolley hurtling towards a track.
Why do they call this a trolley problem? Why
are they always hurtling as well?
Yeah, why are they hurting?
You know what? Let's make it a different dilemma. You're in a room.
You can't just change the question.
Well, it's the same dilemma. And a guy goes, Batch, you've got two choices. Either we're going to kill those 5 people or we're going to kill that one person. And they're all identical to you as far as you can tell. Ceteris paribus.
Identical to me?
No, to each other. Oh. Like, there's no other determining factor. There's
they look the same?
There's no age.
I'd be like, what the fuck?
There's no like, that's an old person, they've lived, or it's a young person that, we should protect them, or it's men and women and children first or whatever.
What, and I've got to decide?
You got to decide.
The traditional
kill 5 people or kill one person. But you don't even have the act or omission thing where it's like, oh, if I get actively involved, just pick one. Would you rather have them kill 5 people or one? I'd
wake up. And then I woke up.
This episode is going to be so difficult if you don't just answer the fucking question.
I don't have free will, so I honestly, even if I wanted to make a choice, I couldn't, and I'd kill the 5 people, so I get a better kill streak.
Well,
I'd kill myself.
Get a predator missile.
I know. I'd go like, boom. What the fuck? No, well, I can't say it after I kill myself. What I do is I line them all up in one straight line. Oh, I have more than one bullet though, so I can kill them all. You're
not killing anyone. You're just in a room.
Oh, the guy's killing them.
And the guy's going, we're either going to kill 5 people or we're going to kill one person. What do you choose?
I say can I tell him to kill himself?
You can. But, okay, if you say anything else right now, all 6 die. Do we kill the 5 or do we kill the 1?
Banana.
Great. You're a genocidal maniac.
No, okay, I would kill the 5 people, yeah. We got a population crisis. So. No, fine, I'll kill the 1 person.
God, can
Happy? You clearly want me to say that, so... All right, fine,
But
I'll kill the 1
what would
person.
you
Go on, tell me
actually-
why
what-
I'm wrong. Oh, you should have killed the 5 people because they've actually got
You
leprosy.
evil motherfucker. No. This is supposed to be simple. And we're going to move
Fine,
on from here.
I'll kill
We're
the 1
laying
person.
moral
I'll
foundations.
kill the 1 person.
You'd kill the 1 person.
Why does 5 lives count more than 1?
No.
Because there's more of it. No, I kill the 1 person.
Can you stop overthinking everything?
I kill the 1 person.
This is the simple... we're just laying a foundation to say that 5 lives matter more than 1.
Right, I kill the 1
Overall.
person, fine.
Thank you. Bloody hell. By this point, 3,000 people have died at this maniac's hand.
Oh, what a shame.
Okay, so yeah, the choice between 5 people and 1 person. Okay, how about 2 people and 1 person? You've got to choose again.
Oh, 1 person.
You'd rather want.
I'm not going to have fun anymore. 1 person. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because now you've had your fun. We'll take this down the serious road because
Okay.
this is very interesting. Once again, you're brought into another room,
This is just torture.
and there's a man in front of you, and they say, "Oh, we can kill him, or you can or not. But if you kill him, you get a nice pair of shoes.
I'm not going to kill him.
You're not going to kill him.
No.
Okay,
Look at these. I don't need nice
final room. They go, oh, this man's ill. We have the life-saving pill. We can either give it to him, or you can have a really nice pair of shoes. What do you pick?
Oh, I give him the pill
You give him the pill. Why?
because I don't want shoes more than save
But
him.
you don't know him.
So
So
I don't care about shoes that much.
what-
If you
saving-
try and butter me up with some Manuka honey or something like that, and maybe I'll say kill the man.
But is saving the man more important to you than having a
Then
nice pair
having
of shoes?
yeah.
Why?
Well, why not?
Well, why? Isn't it? You're making that decision. Why?
I would value a human life over a pair of shoes.
Interesting. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you really sure?
Yeah. Why?
You bought some new shoes recently, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
You don't have to answer this because it's not really any of my business. But out of curiosity, how much did the last pair of shoes you bought cost you?
£5,000. No, joking. They are £120.
£120.
Yeah.
So when you bought those shoes and you made that choice
Yeah.
for those £120 shoes,
Mm.
you had the possibility of giving that £120 to a charity that could have saved someone's life.
Fucking hell.
It's true.
No, you're right. But I went to an establishment the other day and I rounded up.
I don't care. You bought those shoes, and that there are a lot of charities that would have saved at least 1 life with your £120. So why is it when you're in a room faced with this choice between saving a man's life or having £120 shoes that you say, of course I saved that man's life?
Because
But when confronted with that choice in reality,
yeah.
although indirectly, you're still making the choice between saving someone's life or having a pair of shoes. You pick the pair of shoes.
I think it's just about how how enclosed the question becomes in a room. You either save a man's life or you buy shoes. There's only 2 options. Whereas in the real world, there's a decision made by everything you do and don't do. So buying a new pair of shoes, sure, technically could have gone to charity, saved people's lives.
Yeah, so why did you buy the shoes instead?
Because I wasn't confronted with, at the time of buying the shoes, you could buy these shoes, or the only other option is give it to charity.
But you're always confronted with that choice.
Yeah, but not...
You're aware charities
but
exist, right?
It wasn't what I'm saying is the choice wasn't this or that. That money could have gone anywhere. It could have gone to a charity to build schools, could have just given it to you, could have just thrown it out the window, just set it on fire, could have swallowed it.
Yeah.
The choices,
there are a lot of
choices are
charities.
endless.
Yeah. And so why did you choose buying a pair of shoes as more important than any of the other ones, including saving lives, building wells, building schools? I do want to jump in here and say that I obviously am completely guilty of the exact same thing. I bought this t-shirt with you actually, in Hollister. And although not directly faced with I wasn't in the store and someone said either kill someone or allow them to die, whatever, or have this t-shirt. But realistically, we do make that choice all the time. And it's interesting that we see such a clear moral obligation when confronted with a direct choice. But when having an indirect choice, we don't feel the exact same sense of moral obligation, even though the outcomes are exactly the same.
It does become more complicated though, because like with the moral question, if you don't if you don't choose the shoes, you 100% save someone's life. There's no question about it. You see it. You see where the money, where the shoes, what the shoes become, a saved life. Whereas in the real world, when you spend £100 on shoes, which could have gone to charity, you can give the money to charity, but you don't see the outcome. You don't see the good that it does, the saved life, or what they do with the money. Whatever.
It's interesting because this is a kind of like psychological concept called the identifiable victim effect.
Yeah,
and having the difference between the victim being a man stood right in front of you, as opposed to the abstract concept of a man being saved. Even though, again, there is no difference in the outcome, we have so much more of a stronger sense of that moral obligation to save the victim in front of us, even though you're still saved. And it's interesting, obviously, like, I mean, this is a question that is difficult because it's like, it's something even philosophers today like really struggle with. I'm sure even themselves, like everyone sat at home will be faced with this choice all the time. Like no matter how bad your life is, there is always going to be someone in a worse position. And of course, you could say like people in our position perhaps have a stronger obligation to donate to charity than someone perhaps who might be listening who goes, well, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I'm struggling to put food on the table. Our obligation is stronger. But there may be someone who is on the brink of starvation somewhere else, or, you know, about to, you know, suffer and die from malaria, that goes like, well, you're hungry, but I'm starving. And so you could go without your next meal. I might die without mine. Yeah. And there's always this kind of like thing where it's like, you could sacrifice something that's benefiting yourself for someone who's in greater need.
What I find interesting is that you could apply it until, like, say you lived by that, where instead of every decision you make, you always choose, I'll give it to charity because there's someone in a worse position. If you make every decision like that, you will do it until it kills you. If you make every decision like that, someone's always worse off, to the point
where you're the worst off in the world.
Where you're the worst off and perish. I wonder, like, how long that would take. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you were to make every decision or everything you did, you were like, there's someone in a worse position. Like, because you could get to a point where you're like bankrupt everything because you've given every decision, or you're like, oh, I could have dinner tonight, or I could donate it every single time. Yeah. Until you actually die. Yeah.
Until you're literally on the bare minimum of like, I'm having just enough calories, like 100 less calories and I die.
Yeah.
And then,
it's like you could save yourself by having this, or give it to someone else who needs it.
Perhaps there are enough resources in the world where if everyone had that mentality of, if there's someone worse off, I'm going to give to them. If we went top down and everyone got purely balanced,
then it becomes like communism,
at an equilibrium, essentially. Yeah.
I do wonder, like, what position everyone would be if it was like a
total equality. We just went, here's because we produce more food than to feed. We produce more than enough food to feed the entire world.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure they say several times over now.
Yeah, and if you just wipe out money, you can build whatever you want. Like, houses can be built for every single person. It doesn't need to be paid for. It's just everyone pulls their weight. Certain industries, there'll be no more YouTube.
Yeah, it is just overall quite difficult, because I mean everything we buy, especially like luxury items, does always have that trade-off, and it just really is interesting to think like where do my moral obligations come into this, and maybe we should do more.
I do wonder with like the trade-off with it, like not with shoes, but say for instance, a choice for me me and you to start, when we started our YouTube channels, let's say buying a camera, with that money you could have donated it all to charity, saved a bunch of lives, right? But also from that decision, you started a YouTube channel. And I'm sure without realizing, you probably saved a lot of lives by starting that YouTube channel.
Maybe.
You know, people get messages all the time saying, you know, your content really helped me and stuff like that, brought me out of a dark place, whatever. So I wonder if there's like do you know what I mean? Like, you could argue that, sure, this decision in the moment is selfish in a sense that it could have gone to charity and directly saved lives that way. But I wonder if it saved more lives
In the long run.
in the long run. And maybe that's not a good example. Maybe there's better examples where it's like, you could argue, yeah, in the long run, that definitely saved more lives. You know?
No, that's true. That's a very good point.
Like Fleming.
Yeah.
Like, you could argue the invention of penicillin, or the discovery of penicillin, saved millions and millions and millions of lives.
Yeah.
But at some point, he would have bought the equipment to figure that out.
That is true.
So there are some decisions where it's like,
How many lives will be saved by your shoes, do you think?
yeah, but then shoes is like obviously a thing. But I mean, you could then argue like, oh, without those shoes, you couldn't do this, or if you didn't buy those shoes, this would never have happened. This would never have happened. This would never have happened. You wouldn't have then gone on to invent the cure to cancer. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a very far-fetched example, but with every decision, I wonder, like, it's interesting to see like the long-term effects versus short-term effects of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you think in the long run you'd like to have a sort of like the same way Mr. Beast has his Mr. Beast philanthropy, where it's like, I mean, he's probably a good example of that, like buying the camera, and in the long run, I mean, if you go through those things, like how many blind people were cured, how many people were saved from the streets and have homes and all that kind of stuff, like all that kind of stuff, like the number of people that have benefited from that is huge.
Yeah.
And do you think that, like, you'd like to think that at some point when you have enough funds to be like, oh, I'm financially secure with myself, like my rent's covered, my employees are all being paid adequately for the work that they're undertaking and all this kind of stuff, and my future is secure, now I'd like to start going, you know what, let's invest in
I think that's like
more.
The best impact you can have on the world is do something like that.
I think it'd be cool for us to be able to, like,
I'd love to do.
I don't know if you saw much of the comments, but in one of the podcasts recently, we were speaking about vlogs, and we were like, oh, like, they tend to, I guess for me, they tend to do a bit better compared with the rest of my videos rather than yours. Like, your vlogs obviously still get great views, but the rest of your channel also gets great views. So you were saying in that episode, like, it wasn't necessarily worth it to vlog that much. Yeah. Because, like, it's a lot of effort going somewhere and all this kind of stuff, and you get just as many views reacting to TikToks. And I don't know if you saw the comments, but they were all like, please do as many vlogs as possible. It's like our favorite type of content. Yeah. I think it'd be cool for us to be able to, like, mix the doing content we love and enjoy, but also, like, doing good from it. Like, you know, some of, like, the Mr. Beast philanthropy videos seem like they'd be great fun. Like, I would love to just 100%. Go to a, like, wildlife sanctuary somewhere, or go build a well in some town that doesn't have great access to water, provide it with clean water. Like, I feel like you could have so much fun, like, traveling the world and doing cool stuff, and having, like, a bit of a positive, beneficial impact. Yeah, like, I love. But for now, we're gonna keep playing Minecraft. Yeah,
we can set up a sanctuary in Minecraft.
Buying shoes because we're horrible people. We can set up a sanctuary in Minecraft.
Yeah.
We breed
enough animals.
We breed so many cows. Have you seen the amount of methane that's in our Minecraft world?
Yeah, there's no, like, grass dirt blocks anymore. They're just dirt blocks.
Yeah,
the place is dying.
We still use chlorofluorocarbons in our Minecraft world, and there's just no ozone layer left.
No, we gobble that ozone layer up.
We're fully fed, and we just have the and it's just our DNA being damaged by the sun.
At least we can respawn.
That's true.
Would you respawn in real life if you could?
Oh yeah.
But you come back with no knowledge, nothing. You come back as you are. But
are you saying I have no knowledge now?
No, I'm saying
you come back with no knowledge and no personality, just like you are now.
You know, as a baby, you're a blank slate. You can't speak, you can't do anything. You have any knowledge of the world.
When I was a baby,
you were different because you weren't born. But okay, so let's say human baby, right?
When they pressed the on button, I was fully functional.
Let's say you could respawn, but you know that you're going to come back basically like a baby in your body right now, and you're like, You have to learn everything all over again.
Oh God.
Oh, gone.
As in, when I die?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Would you?
Rather than just being eternal nothingness.
I'd rather do eternal nothingness.
But genuinely, like this is a bit of a, it kind of comes into it, like, because we don't believe in a soul. Like, I think all I am is a collection of my memories, my upbringing, my genetics. If I die and become a baby again with no, like,
you're a new person.
I'm not me anymore.
No.
My conscious
That's what I mean.
experience
I would rather
no longer
be
continues.
Dead than not be me.
I don't think I see any difference between that and me dying and there is a baby on earth that's born a couple of moments later after I will die.
So would you really come back then knowing that you'd be a different person? Because you wouldn't then...
But that's the thing, I don't think...
You wouldn't even know that you died.
I don't think that's me coming back.
Know nothing about...
Like, what's the difference between your scenario and me dying and a baby being born like a mile away?
Reincarnation, and I've just brought him into this topic on purpose.
But I don't...
No, I didn't really.
I don't believe there's a soul to be reincarnated.
Oh, but...
Go on.
I saw you at karaoke, you got soul. So
That is really annoyingly true. That's such an embarrassing thing. No, that's so embarrassing because I sing with so much soul. I'm getting red. Oh no, put the karaoke machine away. Oh God.
No, they're bringing the mic, so we've already
for
got
the
mics
next
here.
segment. That's live. No, me and Batch, we love karaoke. Every time there's a night out with the boys, where it's like, should we just go karaoke?
Yeah.
And we brought a bunch of them.
Just fun. Just fun.
It was great fun. Dearie me.
Nothing more fun than a bit of karaoke.
Well, there you go. Something to think about. Next time I buy a pair of shoes, I'm going to be overcome with guilt.
You're going to be overcome. That's disgusting. When you buy shoes, you're just going to be overcome.
Yeah.
Remind me not to be near you when you buy new shoes. Oh, I already was when you bought new shoes in Zara. Now I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. They're quite nice.
You busted all over them.
Okay. Interesting one. AI robots
Probably
and cars. Probably. You might as well switch off now. It's getting boring.
I doubt
Back
it.
to AI robots and cars. If you're buying a car, right, and the car essentially has built into it, as I'm sure it will have to, decisions on when to crash and what to crash into. So let's say, for example, you're driving along and an old lady steps out into the road and your car is faced with a decision between saving your life and crashing into the old granny or crashing into a wall. Maybe in that scenario, I feel like most people who do this kind of trolley problem would go, old person compared with young person, save the young person. But let's say a mother and her 4 kids step out into the road. Then your car has to make the decision between killing all those 4 people or killing you. Do you think you'd ever buy a car that would choose to kill you over almost anything else?
I don't know, because I'm trying to think like what I would do. I think I probably would, because at the end of the day, if I was behind the wheel, I'd do anything to avoid hitting them. Like your natural instinct and reaction would be like, oh shit. And you would probably turn off into a wall and you'd put yourself more at risk. So
You think
there's
you'd
no
happily
difference to
buy a
that
car
than buying a car that would make the
that
same
would do
decision.
even though it's not your decision?
Yeah, because
I mean, look, we started off thinking that it wasn't his decision anyway.
Yeah, because I know I'd make the same decision. Like even now, if like an animal runs out into the middle of the road, I put my life at risk by swerving around it, knowing
This is not
there's
far
a
for trolley.
chance that I
Okay,
could
you're
die.
me and you were on a road trip.
No, well,
We're-
that would never happen.
We're
Fine.
in the mountainous regions of Arizona,
Okay.
and we're driving along, and there's a sign that pops up that says "Rabbits cross here," and I'm driving, and I say to you, by the way, Batch, we're driving on a road where there's a rock wall to our right, and there's a cliff edge to the left. I can't turn right into the wall. I'll just bounce off it and fall off the cliff. Or I'll turn the other way and fall off a cliff. If a rabbit jumps out into the road, I'm just telling you now, I'm going to swerve off the cliff and we're going to die. Do you think you stay in the car with me?
No, I'd say let me drive anyway,
Why?
because I've been in the car with you.
Okay,
Buster.
let's say you don't have a license.
Impossible.
You don't have an American license. Okay, you're 24. You can't rent a car because you're not 25 yet.
Impossible.
Just go along with the. Oh, you're impossible.
Fine.
Do you go? I can't, Arthur. I can't be in this car
Yeah,
with
if
you.
you said that you were going to swerve off a cliff if some rabbits came out, I
Okay.
would not get in your car.
What about if I said there are some there are some natives here and their elders like to wander. If a native elder woman is in the road and we go around, I'm going to drive us off the edge of the cliff. I'm just telling you now.
I'd say I just don't think that's the best decision making though. I think swerving towards the wall makes more sense because there's still a chance that you don't go off the cliff.
Okay, let's just say that
if you said you'd swerve into the wall, I'd be fine in your car. But if you're saying swerve off the cliff, I'd be like,
okay,
no.
Tell you what, there's a bunch of bridges and the bridges don't have anything on the sides and it's single lane.
Yeah.
And it's late at night, so we'd see it very last minute. And I'd just say, we're crossing a lot of bridges. A lot of the elders wander onto these bridges. By the way, I'm going to swerve off either way of the edge of the bridge and we're going to die.
But the thing is, you wouldn't. What you would do is try and brake, and if you're still about to hit them because you're not decreasing in speed enough, you would slightly turn and there's a chance that you'd come off. But you wouldn't outright say to me, what I'm going to do is swerve straight off the thing, which like an AI car wouldn't be like posed with that problem, swerving straight off the cliff. What it would do is it'd be programmed to try and stop.
It would be programmed to make calculations right very quickly.
And I don't think it would calculate to just swerve straight off.
Why?
An AI car will try and stay on the road.
But let's say it can't.
much
Let's say
as
these
possible.
roads are impossible to stay on. They're perfectly as narrow as the car is.
But I would say then an AI car wouldn't be on those roads. It just wouldn't be. As much as I know what you're trying to pose here, but I'm just saying like I wouldn't get in an AI car going down a road like that because AI cars aren't going to be built for roads like that.
Okay.
When AI cars are around and being used, they'll only be used on roads where it makes sense and it's safe to do so.
Okay, let's say you're on the highway, right?
Yeah.
And it just has it built in that if someone's coming in the opposite direction, you can either smash into that car. Well, I mean, highways are kind of built for you to be able to kind of like smash the side thing.
Exactly.
But there will be scenarios.
But I would not. Yeah, but if I ever thought, if I was in the market for a car and AI cars were an option, and I thought, oh, there's some roads that I go down that it's not even safe for a human. I wouldn't even trust a human driving, let alone an AI car. Then I just wouldn't get an AI car because I would trust my own judgment over it. Unless the infrastructure was ready for AI cars and decision making, and they were proven to be good, I just wouldn't do it.
Okay, let's say that they are good and you can pre-script them to do anything. So any scenario, you get to draw the boundary.
Then I'm driving then. Like that just becomes essentially me in the driver's seat. So yeah, I would absolutely.
Well, your instincts aren't going to be the exact same as your pre-calculations, right? Because like you may swerve.
No, but say if I was okay, so say it was it's an AI car where it says, okay, we're going to personalize to you because we want to use your instinct. We want to basically build like an algorithm.
Oh, you'd want it to match your instincts.
Yeah.
What about if there was like a gap between two of the people in the road and you were like, that's so narrow. I don't think, like in the last second, you go, oh, that looks too narrow for me to get through. And I'm not going to ram them, so I'm going to crash into the wall. And then because you're going quite fast, the car flips and you die. But the AI could have calculated that the gap was perfectly wide enough and could have maneuvered it.
I mean, yeah.
Would you want it to have your instinct?
No. If it could 100% calculate in that moment, if the AI car was good enough to be able to do that, I don't think it needs my instincts anyway.
Right. So you'd rather it have an intelligent calculation than your instincts.
Yeah, but you're saying that its intelligent calculation can do stuff like that.
Yeah. So let's say it's intelligent calculation.
So it'll always be better than humans.
So, yeah. And so let's say it has. So it calculates the possibility between you crashing and running over a family.
Right.
Or you crashing into a wall and dying yourself.
Right, so it would never then swerve me off a cliff. It will always calculate something better than that.
But let's say it goes, there's only, at the speed we're at, in this last minute observation of this family that have stepped out that should never have been here, would never have expected it, and we're on this road and we're traveling at such a speed that we either have the choice of hitting them or no matter what way we avoid it, no matter what direction we cut, like drive off the road, we're almost certain to die ourselves.
Then fine, because if I was driving, what you're saying then is, no matter what I do, either they die or I die.
You die. Yeah.
And I would always try and avoid them, so I'll always end up dying.
Okay. For what?
So I would never just
for the
plow
family.
through them.
What about an old lady?
Yeah, no matter what, I'll always try and avoid them.
A dog?
Yeah, like I said with animals, I'll always try and avoid hitting something.
So
and I don't really think in the moment about
you
my
step
own life.
into your AI car and it goes, hey, by the way, we're setting up.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, you have a choice. If a dog runs out into the road and I have the choice between killing you or the dog, do you want me to kill you?
Now, when it's posed like that, I'll say, oh, I'd prefer if you kill the dog.
Okay, what about killing an old lady?
I'd say, what I'd say is, just go with what my instincts would do.
Okay, and your instincts would kill you. It goes,
Yeah.
I've read your instincts, this would kill you.
Then fine. If
Yeah.
that's what would have happened if I was driving.
But that might have happened with the dog as well. Why?
Yeah, but in this, I would value a human life over a dog's life.
What about an old lady who's got a terminal illness and she's got 2 weeks left to live?
If she had not outright said that she'd rather die over someone else in a scenario like that, then I'd rather
You'd
not.
still
her
rather
not
die.
Yeah, because what I'm trying to think is like, if I was driving, you don't know the lady has a terminal illness or whatever. I'm just trying to go off like my instincts now driving. I'm comfortable driving and being in a car where I'm in control of it. And so I'll be comfortable with an AI car that's just as good as me and makes the same decisions as me, because it's essentially me at that point.
So you'd rather the flawed instincts than...
Yeah,
Interesting.
I would. Because
Over a pre-programmed
because otherwise, because then it becomes like you said, the car will say, okay, when posed with a you die or they die, should we kill you? I'd rather not know. I'd rather it be like a instinct-based thing where it's like, we'll go off what you would do in that moment. Whether you die, you die. Whether you don't, you don't. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just outright saying, like, when people die in car crashes, they don't know when they set off they're going to die. Like, say this scenario happens where they avoided someone and ended up dying, but the other person is fine. They don't know when they set off they were going to die. And it's an interesting thought to see if, like, they were posed the question in the beginning to say, oh, if this scenario comes up, would you like us, would you like to die? Would you like them to be saved? But their instincts in that moment chose this route. And I just think instinct-based thinking.
That's so interesting. Because, I mean, this is obviously an interesting hypothetical, but it really isn't a hypothetical. Because this is a struggle with both philosophy and the law at the moment. Because, like, when you're picking this, the law also is going to have to decide who's going to be responsible. You know, whether the AI, is it going to be advanced enough at some point for it to have legal responsibility?
Yeah.
If it's coming up with these itself, is it your responsibility? You know, if your car is the one that makes the decision because you programmed it that way, or maybe it's got a built-in program and the manufacturers are the ones that are responsible. Like, you know, whether you die or the old lady or the family or the dog dies, there may be some criminal responsibility.
I think it's got to become I don't think the passenger should ever have any responsibility in that scenario. I think it should become like where the law agrees with the companies making these AI cars or the software developers, whatever, that if a death occurs and they deem it unavoidable, or there was reasonable, like the car made reasonable decisions and it was just unfortunate.
Yeah.
There's no issues there. However, if it's like clearly an error on the car's behalf or software, whatever, then they take the hit. I feel like that's the only fair way to do it.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
It's probably the way
there
it
will
will
almost
happen.
certainly be regulations that
Yeah.
everyone will agree as a society, probably not without controversy,
Yeah.
and say, by the way, if we have self-driving cars, these are the probable like considerations that are going to crop up quite a lot.
Yeah.
And this is what is going to happen. But it just, I think it's going to be so interesting if the government turns around and says, like, if faced between you as a single driver or passenger in an AI car, technically, against 5 people that step out into the road when they weren't supposed to, your AI car is going to kill you, whether people just go, I'm not going to do it. It's interesting. Because even now, self-driving cars, their like crash rate and fatality rate is so much lower than a natural human's. But you hear an AI self-driving car randomly ramps up to 200 miles an hour and smashes into a wall for no reason. And you go, God, I'm not stepping in one of those. That's terrifying.
But a human could do
But
that.
you check your local newspaper and there's been like 3 deadly car crashes in the last month.
I mean, because like all it takes is like so people have a heart attack at the wheel and then crash.
Yeah.
And it's just like AI era.
We drove on the motorway recently, and I was thinking, like, if I pass out or
Yeah.
like anything, and I think that with people that do the, you know, when they do like parkour on rooftops,
Yeah.
and they're like dangling off the edge, and it's like, fine, like
Yeah.
you're almost certainly never going to lose grip, but like, what happens if you just like randomly have a pass out moment?
Yeah. Or your hand cramps or something.
Or you have a
just-
seizure,
Yeah.
or like anything happens and you just die.
All it takes is for, one body
And
malfunction.
That's the
you're dead.
same when you're driving. You're driving along at 70 miles an hour.
I know. And you're also then putting the trust in that every single other person on the motorway
Yeah.
is going to be physically sound for that journey if they're around you. It is interesting. But I also think with the AI question, it's like, so say the AI is just as good as a human. Like it gets to the point where, and it makes decisions very similar or the same. It's the same as getting into a car with anyone driving at that point.
That's true.
Or like when you get on a flight, there's a pilot, or you get on a boat, there's a captain.
Yeah. You're giving up control.
Yeah. And their decision is, I mean, they will have like whether they go off instinct or whatever, but no matter what, their instinct's going to be driven by something. And ultimately they'll end up being like, I value my life, or I'd rather swerve and hope to save them and see what happens.
But ultimately, maybe they don't have free will in what they choose to do with the car. Maybe
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
either.
Yeah.
Who really knows? This has been a really fun episode to do.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. I've got quite a lot of other stuff that I was thinking about that we can save for another episode. I don't want to bore you guys too much or leave you feeling like you're too evil deep down because of these moral quandaries. But yeah, let us know if you enjoy this type of discussion based podcast.
Yeah.
We've done quite a lot lately where we've been doing like science in the news and stuff, which is great fun, but it's nice to mix up the topics and the format a little bit and go a little bit more conversational than research based. But yeah, if you enjoyed it,
Fun.
thanks. I'm glad you didn't have too much of an existential crisis.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed
I
it.
pictured you crying at the end
No, the red pill from the last episode was
because I was hoping to
I'm
get
not
some
over
of your
that
tears and put them in my eyes because they're feeling a
you're
bit dry.
as hell.
But yeah, if you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, join the Patreon gang.
Gang.
At patreon.com/Batch and Arthur. A bunch of cool perks over there. And rate us 5 stars on audio platforms.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Drop an emoji. Did we already say that?
What's the emoji? Oh, do the thinking emoji, that one.
Oh, do the thinker.
With the thumb and the finger.
Yeah, with the thumb and the finger, one in the stink, one in the pink, one on the chin to make him think.
It's time to go. Hey, and if you haven't already, thanks for watching.
Bye.